Hello, today I'm going to be talking you through the meanings of the various sections within the Grackle Docs extension for Google Docs. So to start off with, we have the document section. Document title is required, so that means you can't just have untitled document up here. You need to actually have a file name for your students so they know what it is they are looking at when you send them a PDF or a Word document, all of those kinds of things. Next up, document language should be specified. Now in your standard Google Doc, this is probably going to be English and it might already be specified. But if you don't have the document language specified automatically, or you are a foreign language teacher sending out a document entirely in Spanish or French or German, you might want to go over to File, Language at the bottom here, and then select whatever language it is the document's in. Next up is the images section of the extension. So to start off with, images and drawings should have alternate text or be marked as artifacts. And what this does is it allows screen readers to describe images to your students with visual impairments so they can actually access any information necessary for their understanding that is contained therein. Next up, equations should be described, and it's for a similar reason to the previous two. So for example, if you are saying 5 minus 6, and you use the dash character on your normal keyboard, your students who can see will read that as 5 minus 6 because within context, that's a minus sign. But a screen reader doesn't have that context. It will read it as 5-6, and that makes it harder for your students using screen readers to actually go through and access your mathematical equations. So it's important to format your equations properly. Next up, images may need to be downsampled to reduce file size because large file size images may break some software that students are using to access the document. So downsampling makes it easier for them. Next up is the headings section of the extension. And to start off with, headings should be used. Make it easier for students using screen readers to bounce between the sections of your document, especially if it's longer, because it's not fair to students who can't see to have to sit through 22 pages of document just to get to the single bit of information they needed to find again. Next up, a single heading 1 should be used, and what that is the overall title of the document if there is one, and then any subsections that go under that should be heading 2, heading 3, etc. If there are several subjects of equal importance, consider having multiple documents rather than trying to shove all the information into a single document. Finally, put the headings in order. You need to go from heading 1 to heading 2 to heading 3, etc. as subsections demand, but you can skip back up from, say, heading 4 to heading 2 like you would in a bulleted list over here, like how I go bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3, bullet 4, but then bullet 4 up to bullet 2 again, that kind of thing. Next up is tables. Tagged table means that you have a row or column that is marked as the head row or column describing the data perpendicular to it, and this is important for, again, your students using screen readers, because if you have, say, a table that is x and y or x and f of x that have various points in them, your students need to be able to understand what is x and what is f of x because they can't see. Their screen reader needs to be able to describe that to them. Next up, merged and empty cells are not recommended because, again, if they are using screen readers, it can be hard to tell what column or table of the table the data within it belongs to for screen readers. Next up is the landmark section. So for longer documents, things like page numbers in the headers or footers can be very helpful. Grackle doesn't consider them a full requirement, so you may pass with a warning, and what you do with it is up to your discretion, but especially for longer documents, it is recommended that you have page numbers. Next up, footnotes should have IDs, and what that means is image descriptions. This makes sure that a screen reader can access the data in your footnote because, especially in academic settings, our footnotes have important information for our students, and if students can't get at that information, it can be hard for them to actually do the work they need to do for your class. Finally, lists should be used where appropriate. So what this means is something like this right here is a bulleted list formatted within the Google Docs formatting. Don't just use dashes with information after them. You can do it with a space, but if there's no spaces, it's not actually properly formatted, and your screen readers will have issues actually understanding the order of your data points, all of that kind of thing. Next up is the contents section, and this is our last section. So, document should not contain unsupported content. So if there's a file or image in the document that Google cannot support, remove it or replace it with something that Docs does support. Next up, for students with visual impairments or color blindness, it's important to use high color contrast and avoid fine print so they can actually read the words on the document. Next up, all cap styling, non-left text alignment, and lengthy paragraphs should also be avoided because they can be harder to read or parse for important information for those with visual impairments or other reading disabilities. So again, avoid them if you can. Finally, links should be informative, and what this means is that you shouldn't have something like I do at the bottom of the document here. It's not actually parsing it accurately. Links like this for students using screen readers will read through each and every single character of this last little bit over here separately, and that is just obnoxious to sit through. So what we can do for that is we can right click the link, hit edit, and then put in some text that accurately describes it while being shorter, and still allow them to click through to the information that you are trying to send them to.
Thank you for watching. Please email oit@pointloma.edu with any further questions.